record at some point. The whole point of the tournament is that it's great drama. What does drama require? Peril. Without peril in life, there is no drama. And the peril of 64, which it used to be, now it's 68, but the peril is missing the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's the discussion around North Carolina right now. And do they have an argument to get in? This is North Carolina. You can't not have them in the tournament.
Oh, you can. You have to be good to get in, but yeah.
All right, we got a splash of Fanta this hour. John Fanta joins us now, college basketball on Fox, host of Big East Shoot-Around, commentary on the field of 68, Cleveland raised, Cleveland proud, Cleveland till death. Mr. Fanta, great to have you on this morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, guys. Good morning. Great to be with you, and you're exactly right. It does take peril. It takes the drama of whether you're going to make it or not. That's the NCAA tournament. It's why March Madness is the best postseason in sports.
Good. So your official stance is against any further expansion. I would assume that because, you'd have to change the name of the podcast to the field of however many. But, you too know that this thing is precious. You do not want to ruin this thing.
No, I don't want to see any expansion because the way that this is at 68 is in the best place that it's ever been, and I think ever will be. Now, I do think expansion is going to happen, unfortunately, just based on the way that this is tracking. I think they're going to expand to 76 teams. I think it'll get announced by April or May. Then I think it'll start next year. I don't think. I know, but it's what these schools and conferences want. Greg Sankey would like Oklahoma, who's 3-10 in the SEC.
3-10.
If we expand to 70, if we expand to 76, they'd be firmly in right now.
Yes, which is crazy, and it's to me one of those things that I look at and say, "What in the world are we doing?" But there are great stories too, and one of those great stories is Wisconsin. I want to ask you about them. Obviously, the national media is starting to come around. I've seen them firsthand. I've seen them all year long. I knew they were good. I'm glad that now the national media is giving them some love. There's two questions I have here. Do you think they win the Big Ten championship based on what the schedule they have left? And then do you think John Tonje is player of the year in the Big Ten?
Well, I think a lot of it comes down to that game on March the 2nd in East Lansing when they head to Michigan State. But when you look at their schedule outside of that, I don't see them losing. I really don't. So I think when you're looking at it here with 5 games to go, you're staring at potentially 15-5. But if they're 16-4, and then you look at it with Michigan, who's got Michigan State, who then heads to Nebraska. They're not losing at home to Rutgers, but they still have Maryland and another battle with Michigan State. Wisconsin's in a very good spot to win the Big Ten. They can do it, but they need Michigan to. Michigan's only at 2 losses right now.
Yeah,
and they've got 6 to play. So you have to hope, if you're a Wisconsin fan, that maybe the Wolverines can falter at Nebraska, and that maybe Illinois is at fuller strength on March the 2nd, or Maryland can pull it off. Because if neither one of those two teams beat Michigan, then Michigan's going to win the Big Ten in all likelihood, just based on the math. But we'll see. If Wisconsin can win out, then they're going to be sitting there as Big Ten champs.
Yeah. When you look at what John Tonje's done and how he's gone about it, he's a guy that people paid attention to, but not like this. And let's be honest, covering college basketball like we do, nobody saw this coming. I even asked Greg, I said, Greg, did you see this coming? He goes, well, we knew what we had. He gave me the coach's answer, right? But nobody saw this coming.
No. And I think the only thing I would say about Big Ten Player of the Year is that I just wonder how hard it is when you've got the establishment that is Braden Smith.
Correct.
And the player that he is. That's the only world where John. I actually would feel a little bad for John Tonje because I think he's deserving of it. But sometimes very deserving players don't get the honors they deserve just by virtue of the class year they're in or who else is in the league. And so for me, right now, John Tange, nobody's playing better than him in college basketball. This kid is absolutely outstanding. When he has the ball, he's in control. But when he's coming off screens, you know it's coming. If you're the opponent on the defensive end of the floor, you know he's going to get the ball. You know he's going to come off a screen. You know that he's going to get the catch, and then he's going to score the ball, and yet you can't stop it. Right now, you cannot limit that guy offensively. There's nothing that you can do because of the zone he's in. 63 combined points in his last 2 games. He is playing as well. He is scoring as well as anybody in America. And I'm telling you right now, the Wisconsin Badgers can make it to San Antonio this April. They are that good. They are that stacked because they have counters. When talking with coaches, and you guys do it throughout the season, and you get this, it's one of those things where coaches say, well, when we're trying to defend them, they can counter you with 4, 5, or 6 different concepts. And it's really hard because you have to pick your poison at some point. Wisconsin is a pick your poison offense if you're the team that's trying to stop them. And they can beat you in a variety of ways. John Tange right now is way number 1, and you know that it's going to happen, and it's still happening. That's the sign of an elite offense and an outstanding player. He is an All-American. Right now, John Tange would be a first-team All-American in my book.
Well, then let's talk about another one that has a possibility of doing that, Marquette. Obviously, you've seen a lot of them. You said Wisconsin has their way to be, or a chance to get to San Antonio. Do you think Marquette has a chance to get to San Antonio? A little bit of a slump, but a good win yesterday or last night, one they needed. I still think they're an elite team. I really do.
I do too. I think just because you're so right, Brian. It's why you're great at what you do, because it's a marathon. It's a marathon of a season. And you're going to go through a patch or two where things aren't always going your way. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. I think for Marquette, they are built to defend. This is a good defensive team. They're not necessarily built to score at an outstanding level. They have struggled to shoot the basketball from 3. Mm-hmm. That's the thing that swings them on a deep tournament run or not. They've been in the bottom 3 in Big East play in 3-point shooting percentage. Well, they don't have an elite 5-man they can give the ball to. Like, that's one of their flaws is they can't throw it to somebody down there and say, hey, go get us a bucket. But what they can do is they can get up in you, guard you, force turnovers, get out on the run and score. And not only that, David Joplin, when he's on, that swings them in a different direction. When Chase Ross is going, it gets them into a different direction. Ben Gold, to me, is the guy who's got to turn it on.
Yes.
He's been way too quiet the last month. Ben, you are a valuable player on this team. You are a valuable piece on this team. Your guys need you because you're a matchup problem. If you're a team that doesn't have a true 5-man that's going to post you up and back you down, then your 4 or 5 men have got to be able to spread you out. And right now, Ben's been up and down. Last night, he was 4 of 7. That's better. Maybe needed the bye. I think they needed a week to just work on themselves. They're still a really well-coached team, and they have an All-American in Cam Jones, who to me, yeah, he's been a little quieter as the years gone on, but he's such a leader, and you just get that gut feeling that he's going to make his mark in the NCAA tournament because that's the kind of player he is. They have enough to go on a deep run.
All right. Exit question. Explain the Pitino phenomenon in its most basic terms. 72 years old, seemingly destroyed by scandals, sent into exile to coach Panathinaikos in Greece. Now back in New York City and rolling with St. John's.
In its simplest terms, passion wins. Passion wins out. This is a guy who you're right, has had a lot of chapters, but his love for the game has never wavered. And when you form connections and you want it that badly, and you have shown throughout your career that you are a winner, you are appetizing to someone who's hiring, and especially in this current climate when winning has never been more prioritized because you have to do it in this college athletics landscape. For St. John's, they need to find someone. They have been dormant for years and years and years. Rick Pitino only thinks one way. How do I win a national championship? He has brought that mindset to St. John's. He has brought sellout crowds to St. John's. They're selling out consecutive weekends to the tune of 19,812 at Madison Square Garden like it's a Knicks playoff game. They now have the Garden asking them, how do we get you more dates? They have the Garden asking them. This is a remarkable story. He gets his team. He gets his players to perform at a level they didn't even know was possible.
Passion wins out. That's why you're so good at what you do. And we'll get you back on and talk a little Joe Thomas Browns action. And we'll ask you a couple questions about the Browns, too. How about that? I mean, then you got to love talking Browns football, right?
Oh, boy. This past year was a year, but I love talking Browns football always. Joe Thomas is a legend. Joe Thomas doesn't have to pay for anything in Cleveland.
I love it. All right, Johnny, thank you for your time. You're a busy man. You do great work. Hopefully we'll talk again before the season's out.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Thanks for joining us.
Little splash of Fanta. By the way, should be noted, Michigan already has the one win over Wisconsin. So that's an extra edge. So the math that you guys were talking about, in the back of my head, I'm like, you need another game on that.
Well, but I don't know how the tiebreakers works. I haven't looked into it yet. I don't.
I think head-to-head is the first tiebreaker?
Yeah, I don't think so because of the way that they've got. Because if
really?
you play them on home or road,
and you're playing some teams twice.
Yeah,
and
you're
other
playing
teams
some.
once.
I should have looked into the tiebreaker. I haven't done that yet.
All right. Well, we're sizing up something that probably is not going to come into play. So.
I don't know. I'm manifesting.
You're manifesting. It's one thing to manifest the Badgers winning out. You got to manifest some Michigan losses.
Yeah, well, but now Michigan has it. They've got Maryland. They've got to Michigan State twice. At Nebraska's tough.
I think they're better. I think they're just better. So we'll see. Okay, coming up, Jeff Levering will join us. An impassioned speech from the Skip about this season, the first one without Bob Uecker in many a moon, and it's going to be heartfelt. We'll talk about it next.
Got some news. Today is what you call a big news day.
From free agency, the NFL draft, and more. Count on the Packers flagship for the latest.
Well, I love the way you guys rumble. It's great.
97.3 The Game.
Now, here's traffic from Tri-City National Bank, your hometown bank. Call the Tri-City Total Traffic Tip Line at 414-944-5111.
A very busy morning now. 4145 either way between the Zoo and Good Hope, a 10-minute trip. 43 southbound, that's slow between Keefe and Center Street. 894-43 eastbound jammed up 92nd Street to Loomis. I'm Bunny Green, and that's your latest total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The slow-roasted Cantina chicken menu is here to stay with ingredients like purple cabbage and freshly prepared pico de gallo. Try it today at participating U.S. Taco Bell locations while supplies last. Contact store for participation, which varies.
Brian Butch here. Basketball is my first love, but guess what I love second most? Golf. So let's get you ready for golf season with the best performance apparel on the planet. Now through February 19th. Enter promo code GOLF35 and take 35% off what I call Iron Jock's golf collection of polos, vests, quarter zips, hoodies, and joggers. 4-way stretch, staying wicked, odor eliminating, super relaxed fit to go with your golf swing, not against it. Go to ironjock.com for details. That's ironjoc.com.
Broadcasting worldwide from the Iron Jock Studios. Iron Jock is the official advanced performance gear and apparel worn by the guys on the game. Iron Jock with the most permanent odor protection ever. With fast drying and wicking, anti-static 4-way stretch, cooling, water repellency, and stain blocking. It's performance gear at its best. Learn more at ironjock.com. That's ironjoc.com. Iron Jock. It's what's inside.
Febreze. It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la. I'm Victor Harding, a true trial attorney at Warshevsky Law. You've heard our advertising for years. While it's been effective introducing Warshevsky to injured people in need of maximum judgments and settlements, most of our clients come from personal referral. Referrals from former clients grateful for the settlement or trial judgment Warshevsky won on their behalf. Thus, they're recommending us to friends and family. Referrals from people in the community, including other lawyers and judges who want to make sure their friends and family are taken care of. Still not sure? Ask around. Warshevsky is referred by Wisconsin law enforcement officers who've seen Warshevsky attorneys in action, desperate to make sure friends and family receive just compensation. Insurance adjusters, often our adversaries, refer their family members hurt in accidents. They know the work we do. They all refer Warshevsky because, big case or small, we can help. If someone you love is injured, please let them know, because at the end of their ordeal, their injury is about the money. Warshevsky.com.
Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 16, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Pavel this time from the left circle. Pavel turns and shoots and scores! The Milwaukee Admirals wrap up a 3-game road trip Thursday with a school day game at Chicago. He gets away from McGing from the near circle. Shot, he scored! Pre-game coverage at 10:30. Face-off 11 a.m. on Fox Sports 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Broadcasting from the all-new Iron Jock Studios, built by Reamer Remodel.
Let's get this going right now.
This is WRNW-FM Milwaukee, 97.3 The Game.
First thing that comes to mind is losses. It's the first thing that comes to mind, and I got to be authentic. So the first loss I'm going to talk about is something very special, very emotional. You know, we lost Bob Uecker. For those of us that became close to him and got that privilege, it's hard. But for those of you that knew him a little bit and just saw how he operated, I can tell you this. That loss was of a guy who was authentic, who made the choice to stick with the Brewers when he could have left many, many times. Am I right, Mark? Yeah. He could have went and done other more financial things. He grew up here. He loved it. He was part of the fabric. And the way he treated people, the way he included everyone else, he needed you. He understood as a superstar in his own right, a legend.
Good stuff from Murph to the team about Uke and what it's going to be like this year. Glory days, Bruce Springsteen playing. And look who's with us now. Jeff Levering joins us on a short outing, little 4-inning outing today because you got stuff going on. Good morning, Lev. How are you?
Good morning, guys. You guys doing all right?
That we're doing good, yes. I love that you've got your ski cap on. You're ready to bound out the door in this frigid Wisconsin winter.
I was already outside, and the hair is not in good shape today. I'm just walking the dog, so this is what we're going to get today.
That's fine. So when do you depart? When do you depart for Arizona?
Hopefully, I'm not deported anytime soon. But
Right.
I head out tonight. As a matter of fact, I will
Okay.
be in Arizona, wheels down at some point this evening.
Okay.
Well, thanks for
Very
telling
good.
us that. We appreciate it. It's only going to be -10 here, but yeah, go ahead and rub that in a little bit more.
I got all day here, man. It's all good. The sun's
Oh,
gonna
I
be
got
down once
I got
land.
all day here. He says, I got all day here. Okay.
All right. So let's start with that little bite there. What'd you think of that from Murph?
I think that, I mean, Murph had such a special relationship with Bob for the last few years, bench coach first and now as a manager last year. And if you ask Craig Counsell, if you ask Pat Murphy, Ron Renicky before that, any of the Brewers managers during Bob's time, their favorite part of their day was doing the manager show with Bob. And they're going to miss that this year. Every time that Murph would have Bob on, Murph would be on the show with Bob, that would be a special day. And he knew how special it was every time they had a chance to talk on the phone or be in each other's presence. And that's just something that we're all going to miss this year. We're all going to miss that. We've talked about it a few times before on the show. There's going to be those days in June where you show up at the ballpark and maybe you're dragging a little bit or you had a tough day and you knew that whenever you saw Bob, your day was going to get better. That's how his impact was on everybody, whether you were playing or not on the field, or if you were picking up trash in the ballpark. He always made your day better.
All right. There's a lot of good questions. I'm going to skip through a bunch of them, like the left side of the infield. How much can we expect from Woody? Yelich's health, year 2 of Chourio. Let's go straight to Sal Frelick in the best shape of his life season right now. 20 pounds of muscle, they say. What do you make of that?
Did you see the shot of him taking batting practice? His forearms.
Hell yeah.
My goodness, man. I mean, he looks the part. I don't know if
Do you
it's the
love
home
it?
run. I think it's great. I think it's great.
Okay.
It's a good thing, just as long as he doesn't get away from who he is. Contact hitter, go to left field, 2 strikes, battle, play great defense. As long as he doesn't get away from that, awesome. Put on the weight. It's a good thing, because during an athletic season, Butchie, and you know this, it's hard to
You're
keep
going
weight
to lose
on.
it. Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing when you look at that is how does it stay? Everyone comes into spring training the best shape. That's everybody. The start of the season, everyone's their best. How do you maintain it? What do you have to do? Can you stay healthy? Can you avoid some of that? And I think that's the question with this team is they're still young. There's ups and downs. How do they adjust to it? How do they handle it? And what's the biggest question mark you have with this team?
I think they've got a huge challenge ahead of themselves, but I will say that a lot of these young guys got a ton of experience last year in winning a division, playing in the playoffs, and you cannot replicate what that experience was like for those guys. I think the biggest question going into this season is who's your starting shortstop? I mean, is it going to be Terang? Is it going to be Ortiz? It's not going to be a combination of the both. It's going to be one or the other, I think. What does Jackson Chourio do in year 2? And how much pitching do you have? The starting pitching is always a question going into every season, no matter who you are, what team you are. How much starting pitching do you have? What are your expectations? So you just got to get the innings, and I think they're going to be okay in that realm.
Did you read the piece in USA Today from Nightingale that pulled out the quote from the owner about what is my job? Because we've talked about that this morning. I said Nightingale was throwing at the Brewers' head there because nobody spent money except for 2 teams, or 1 team maybe, in this offseason. What'd you make of it?
Dodgers and Mets. I mean, Mets spent almost $1 billion on one player.
That's right.
So I mean, that was a big market. Nobody spent money. I think it's a tough situation, right? And Mark came out and said yesterday, that the payroll is actually up from where it was a year ago. So they're not spending a bunch of money on free agents. Arbitration numbers go up because players' value is getting better. So again, the narrative is going to be, well, you traded Devin Williams, but you got a couple of guys back. That's how it's always going to be with this franchise, though. And they're still competitive, and they're still young, and they're still in this great window. I would rather
Is that comment wrong? Is the comment wrong? This is the exact one. Is my job to win a World Series, or is my job to provide a summer of entertainment and passion and a way for families to come together? Now, I think he's wrong for saying it because it just is a bad look as far as fans. That being said, I think he's 100% correct.
I think he is too. And I think as fans, you'd rather go and watch a team that's going to be competitive year in and year out, no matter what, and then have an opportunity to play for a World Series. Look at all those Dodgers teams that didn't win the World Series, right?
We
won it in
talked
20.
about that 2 days ago. I think that conversation came up. I said the Dodgers have gone through this too. But you're giving yourself a chance.
Nothing is guaranteed in this sport. You could get beat all the time and still have the best team out there during the regular season. Look at all those Moneyball A's teams that won all the division titles that they did. They didn't do anything. They got bounced in the first round. So, and they weren't spending any money. They made a movie about it. They wrote books about it. So, but they had their chance.
Good movie, by the way. Glad it's so good when he turns around in that pickup truck, pulls at you. Sorry. Good movie.
It's fantastic.
You liked Moneyball, Butch?
I thought it was fantastic.
You didn't. You weren't bothered by the fact they glossed over the fact that all this wonderful financial wizardry resulted in no real playoff success?
No, it's the journey. It's the journey.
Some people, Armin, don't like the fact they glossed over that.
I'm a journeyman. I like the journey it takes us on. You gotta love every minute of the journey.
Can I tell you that I love Moneyball? I think the book is fantastic. I think the book is better than the movie is.
No,
but the fact that they glossed over the starting pitching that they had.
Yes.
Mulder, Zito.
Yeah,
Hudson,
there's a little bit of
rookie deals.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, cool. I get it. Scott Hatterberg's learning how to play first base, but look at those guys that you had in your rotation.
I do like the fact that it has spawned the meme of here's the problem.
Yeah.
It could apply to anything in sports where they've got, his assistant saying, okay, this guy gets on bases. Here's the problem. He doesn't do whatever. Right.
Right.
I've seen that meme a million times.
Yeah.
Funny though.
Applies to all things.
So like year 2 of Choreo, like what should our expectations be?
I think the sky's the limit. I mean, we've talked about it a ton too. The kid's a stud, and I think we saw what he has the potential to be over the last couple of months of the season. He struggled the first couple of months getting his feet underneath him as a 20-year-old kid. He's going to turn 21 in a couple of weeks. How is he going to continue to get better every day, right? I think we've seen it. We know how bright that star can shine. So go out there and do it every day. I am curious to see, because he had some real serious mentors on that team a year ago. Willie Adames, he was with him every single day. I think that he's going to miss Willie as a mentor, being out there in the cage every single day. But I think that his work ethic is going to allow him to be successful. I think he's going to have a great year.
All right. How's the driveway looking?
It looks good. It's clean.
Good.
It's
clean now. Okay, good.
Yeah, I did get a new snowblower, by the way, last week. It blew out.
You did?
I had gone the whole winter without a snowblower. And then I did the first round on Wednesday last week with no snowblower. And then I did the second round whenever we got dumped on the other day with the shovel. And then I went, I'm done. I'm out.
Okay.
Plus, I'm leaving and my wife
what
is
make
gonna
and
handle
model?
this.
What make and model as a guy, I want to admire your machinery from afar. I'm going to look it up right now.
It's gas powered. I can tell you that it's not electric, and which is fine.
What
and who'd
brand?
you know?
Aaron's?
No, it's orange.
Toro?
It's not a Toro. I got it from Menards.
Orange is Aaron's.
Jeffrey.
Wow.
Orange is Aaron's. What is it? Off brand? What is it? Some kind of Korean made model? Come on, man.
It could be. It could be. I haven't used it. I put it together. I haven't used it yet, but I went out and got it. It's for my wife when she's home, and I don't have. And
it's the Husqvarna.
Oh, it's the Husqvarna. They're orange.
Or the Ariens Deluxe 24-inch 254cc.
That could be it.
Make sure you send your rebate in.
Did you think about one of the battery-powered Egos? Do you think about the Ego model battery-powered?
No.
Okay. Probably not great for Wisconsin because you get heavier snowfalls, big ice chunks. But the benefit is when you're away, because I thought about this. I was like, man, Levering's going to be away for a good chunk of the end of winter where there could be a lot of snow, and your poor wife has got to deal with cleaning the driveway. You got to pay a service to do it. So what do? So you get her a snowblower, that's good. But, starting those things can be very tricky in the cold, dead cold of winter. You got to have the priming just right. You got to have the choke just right. It's not easy.
Yeah, well, we had a lesson the other day, so we should be fine.
A lesson.
We should be fine.
Record a video of it as well, and also have a hotline to you to wake you up at any time to make sure you can give her tech support.
God bless the Ring doorbell. Ring doorbell. I can watch every bit of it.
Oh my!
While you're sipping your coffee in your nice warm weather.
All right, my friend. Safe travels out there, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you.
You got it, guys. Take it easy.
There you go.